So another thing that really leads gifted kids kind of down the wrong path is the burden of expectation that's placed upon them. So from a very young age, they're told, oh, you're gifted, you're smart, you're special, you have so much potential. And so what that starts to do is it constructs like a very, very lofty goal in their minds, right? So I'm going to use kind of an analogy, which is kind of like, you know, if I think about an amazing home, like I think about a mansion, it can have a beautiful blueprint. And I can buy a gigantic piece of land, and I can look at that and I can say like, oh, like this home or this blueprint has so much potential. And sometimes we kind of forget that like you can have a blueprint for a mansion, but that's going to actually take way more work to achieve than like building a shack. So the other really interesting thing that we sort of kind of get wrong societally is that we assume that when someone is gifted, things are actually going to be easier for them, that they need to work less to accomplish the same amount. But in my experience, living up to a gifted child's potential involves more work. It's sort of like, you know, it's just like building a shack versus building a mansion. Like, sure, the mansion is capable of so much more than the shack is capable of. But let's not forget for a moment that the amount of effort that it goes into building a mansion is actually way more than what's required to build a shack. And this is the second place that gifted kids kind of get tripped up, because everyone around it is looking at them and they're sort of saying, oh, like, this is an amazing mansion. Like, you could build such an amazing mansion. And we all kind of forget for a moment that like actually living up to that potential is very, very difficult and requires a lot more of an investment than building a shack. And so this gap between what people expect of you and also the idea that things should be easier for you kind of compound on themselves and sort of end up with gifted kids kind of feeling like they're failing at everything, right? Because they have all this potential and they're just not living up to it. So the other thing that we'll see in gifted kids is that what tends to happen is that they will put in some amount of work, but they're expecting a mansion when all they've really put in is as much as building a shack. I may have lost y'all a little bit there, but let me just explain.